Over the last century, Germany has had an enormous impact on the world. Despite its influence, the nation has existed for less than 150 years. Today, when Germany first comes to mind, one might think of its dominating and militaristic rulers such as Adolf Hitler. Before these leaders, there was the man that created Germany, Otto von Bismarck. Following a philosophy known as Realpolitik, or politics based on practical and material factors over theoretical or ethical objectives, Bismarck united the various kingdoms of Germany into one unified state. He started 3 wars to accomplish this goal, but after unification, he successfully maintained peace in Europe. This unified Germany would go on to be one of the most militarily dominant nations in Europe. However, Bismarck had near absolute control over his country, and when he resigned, this power was passed on to his successors. The following German leaders would ignore his philosophy of Realpolitik in favor of militaristic delusions. Otto von Bismarck utilized his leadership as well as his philosophy of Realpolitik to unify Germany and to maintain peace in Europe. Under his leadership, Germany would prosper, but subsequent German leaders would disregard Bismarck's ideals, as his obsession with individual power failed to create a long-lasting Germany, thus leading to a tainted legacy.
Otto von Bismarck was born in the year 1815. At this time, 39 states ruled over the German people and were loosely united under the German Confederation led by Austria. In 1848, revolution exploded across Europe, and German rebels hoped to unite the country under liberal principles such as universal suffrage. German rulers would not accept liberalism, and the rebels failed. However, the spirit of German nationalism that the rebels created lived on.
There's obviously no Germany, but there is this feeling that there is a nationality that is German.
Born to Prussian nobles, Otto von Bismarck was taught to despise such liberal thought. He studied law at the University of Göttingen, where several of his early contemporaries took notice of his motivation to rule and have power over other people. In 1847, Bismarck began his career in the Prussian government. In 1851, he was sent as Prussia's envoy to the Diet of the German Confederation. Here, he became an advocate of a new philosophy, Realpolitik, a form of realism adopted and later perfected by Bismarck that approached politics with a pragmatic foundation. Realpolitik and its roots of realism derive from political philosophers such as Thomas Hobbes and Niccolo Machiavelli, as both stressed the importance of power and national interest. In Realpolitik, the means of achieving power or control could sometimes be immoral, but it did not matter as long as the results were successful.
In 1862, King Wilhelm I made Bismarck Prime Minister of Prussia. As a leader, Bismarck was initially against nationalism, but under his philosophy of Realpolitik, he realized that nationalism could be used to further Prussia's power. He wished to lead Prussia using the nationalists, while disregarding the demands for democracy. While Wilhelm was king by law, Bismarck had complete power over him. Bismarck would be deciding the future of Prussia. Hoping to expand Prussia's power, Bismarck orchestrated 3 wars: the Second Schleswig War versus Denmark, the Austro-Prussian War versus Austria, and the Franco-Prussian War versus France, which not only strengthened Prussia, but resulted in the ultimate unification of Germany. In 1864, Denmark had attempted to annex Schleswig and Holstein, 2 states of the German Confederation. This caught the attention of Prussia and Austria, who attacked and defeated Denmark. After the war, the 2 German states signed the Gastein Convention, an agreement between Prussia and Austria where Prussia gained control of Schleswig while Austria ruled over Holstein. However, the Austrians were not wholly satisfied with this deal and brought it up to the Parliament of the German Confederation. In a masterstroke of Realpolitik, Bismarck argued that this event broke the Gastein Convention and used it as an opportunity to attack Austria. In 1866, Bismarck defeated the Austrians in a short time of 7 weeks. Following the war, the German Confederation came to an end, and Austria would be taken out of German affairs.
With Austria gone, Prussia was now the sole major power in Central Europe. Bismarck's victory enabled him to annex various German states to form the North German Confederation. Bismarck still needed the southern German states under his grasp, and looked to France for a chance. His big opportunity came when the Spanish offered their throne to a relative of Wilhelm I. The French Emperor, Napoleon III, would not accept the idea of a German on the Spanish throne, and their foreign minister, Vincent Vendetti, got into a heated argument with Wilhelm I. Bismarck recorded the conversation and altered it to make it seem as if Wilhelm had insulted the French ambassador. He released the edited version to the public in what is famously known as the Ems telegram, which enraged the French people and led France to declaring war on the North German Confederation. Believing this declaration to be an attack on the German people, the states of southern Germany eagerly rallied with the North German Confederation to fight France. The United German Front defeated France, and on January 18, 1871, Bismarck used the massive nationalistic pride to officially unify Germany.
During his tenure of leadership, Bismarck manipulated the nationalists and other countries to further his own goal. While at times unethical, he successfully led Germany to unification. Prussia was victorious in all three wars, as his leadership led to an enormous expansion of land and power. With the leadership of Bismarck, what started as a region of loosely bound states was united with iron and blood. The conservative monarchy of Prussia ruled it, and power lied not in the hands of the German people, but in the German rulers. As an enemy of democracy and a hoarder of power, Bismarck was content. Satisfied with Germany's territorial gains, Bismarck believed that peace was more beneficial for his country's future success. He created a league of three emperors with Austria, now known as Austria-Hungary, and Russia. Later, he formed the Triple Alliance with Austria, Hungary, and Italy. He recognized that both war and peace could be utilized to create a stronger nation. Throughout Bismarck's time leading Germany, his nation would prosper in peace. He recognized the importance of a balanced Europe in the long-term success of Germany.
In 1888, Wilhelm I was succeeded by Wilhelm II, who, unlike his predecessor, Bismarck could not control. In 1890, the German Emperor forced Bismarck to step down from his position as Chancellor of Germany. In 1898, months before his death, Bismarck predicted that Germany would fall in 20 years. Bismarck had brilliantly led Prussia towards the unification of Germany. Though many of his actions were deemed unethical, he made his country much stronger. However, he was content with leaving power in the hands of the few. In the words of Max Weber, he left a nation totally without political education, totally bereft of political will, accustomed to expect that the great man at the top would provide their politics for them. Wilhelm was no advocate of realpolitik, and with his delusions of grandeur, he led Germany to World War I. He wasted a strong sense of nationalism and confidence which Bismarck had created, and led Germany to disaster. In 1918, Germany was defeated, 20 years after Bismarck's prediction. The German Empire was replaced by the democratic Weimar Republic. Even then, people wished to recapture the legacy of Bismarck. Some wished for the return of a powerful leader such as Bismarck, who would restore Germany to glory. Adolf Hitler took this desire and marked himself as the powerful leader that Germany needed. He would lead Germany to the most destructive event in human history. Bismarck's early legacy of militarism inspired both Wilhelm and Hitler to fight unnecessary and ruinous wars.
Bismarck then sort of was a part and parcel of creating this mood of nationalism and this mood of sort of militarism that then led to, World War I.
Both of the following leaders abandoned Bismarck's ideology of realpolitik. By the end of World War II, what remained of Bismarck's Germany had vanished. Today, Germany is still a united economic powerhouse, yet it is a liberal republic completely unlike what Bismarck envisioned. The nation has abandoned militarism due to the suffering it has brought. During his tenure as Chancellor, Bismarck was able to lead Germany to success in both war and peace. However, his monarchist views resulted in an awful mark on his legacy. His hatred for democracy and obsession with power planted the seeds of future German disaster. The people hoped to recapture his legacy, with all-powerful leaders such as Wilhelm II and Adolf Hitler. Bismarck was both a cunning and manipulative leader who united the divided German states into a powerful nation. However, his desire for personal power led to his nation's eventual failures, resulting in a tarnished legacy.